David Taub here from nextlevelguitar.com, and I thought I would talk a little bit more about effects today and maybe do a little review on the MXR EVH or Eddie Van Halen Flanger. And this is the pedal here I'm going to be playing through. And the first thing you notice about this pedal is it's very heavy duty. It's built really, really well. MXR makes some really great stuff. I really like some of their stuff, and all their stuff is very rugged because remember, you're going to be stomping on this and kicking it, and if you play out live a lot, it gets a lot of abuse. So you really want your effects pedals to be built really well and have really good switches and very solid. Anytime I see plastic cases or switches that seem a little you know, it sends up a red flag because you're going to be stepping on these things and they get a lot of abuse. So you really want to get something well constructed, and this is a beast. It's kind of heavy. It's really put together well. I really like this flanger pedal because especially with flangers and phasers and these type of pitch shifting effects, you have to be careful because sometimes they could be really, really overused, and you just want to use effects to kind of color your sound. And some of the cheaper ones kind of sound kind of cheesy, real kind of like space agey or too digital, and I like these analog effects. Really, really cool. So listen really carefully and go through all the settings whenever you're trying effects at the store, and make sure it's what you want before you purchase it, and it doesn't sound a little bit too digital or a little bit too cheesy, and especially when dealing with phasers and flangers and whatnot. This is cool because it has a few things on it that are nice. It has a red LED indicator so you know when it's on or off, and it also has a yellow indicator with a little push button with EVH underneath it, Eddie Van Halen, and that automatically sets the flanger to his sound that he used, his settings on the song Unchained. So you just hit that button and it gives you his presets for that song. It's kind of cool, and I'll demonstrate that in a minute. There's 4 controls on this flanger. You have a manual knob, a width knob, a speed knob, and a regenerate knob. The manual knob basically controls the degree of the phase shifting. The width knob controls the intensity of the time delay. The speed knob controls the speed of the time delaying cycle. And the regenerate knob controls the intensity of the overall effect. Okay, so you can go from 0 to 10, so to speak, on each one of these knobs, so you have a lot of control over the actual effect. It goes from very subtle, and I really like that. I don't like really, really hardcore flange unless you're using it for a real special effect and you want that real wide and recycled sweep, you know. But this, you can get it really subtle, or you can get it to that heavy duty sound. Has some really nice rubber feet with screws so it doesn't move when it's on the floor. Like a lot of times if you're playing on a like a hardwood surface or floor, it could slide, or concrete. These really are good. It does take 2 9-volt batteries, which is kind of a drag. Not 1, but 2. So you need to power this with 2, but it does have an adapter so you can plug it in. All right, so let's plug this bad boy in and give it a test spin. Okay, for this demo of the Eddie Van Halen MXR Flanger, I'm going to be playing through this mid-90s Paul Reed Smith CE, okay, and just a little line 6 practice amp so I can keep the volume low in the studio. Spider 1, the red one. They don't make them anymore. They went to now they're up to like Spider 3, and I'm using a distorted tone, so it kind of sounds kind of heavy distorted. Okay, I have the phaser plugged in directly in between the guitar and the amp, and I have the settings, all of them, pretty low, like 3 o'clock. And you could hear the effect, but it is kind of subtle. Kind of fills up the sound a little bit and adds that cool kind of flange, and that's a nice kind of subtle sound. Now as I start to bring the effect up in intensity, width, and speed and regeneration, you're going to start to hear more of the effect come out. More sweep, more cycling. not like over the top yet. The EVH setting where you just push the one button and the yellow light comes on, and this is the setting that apparently that MXR set up for to recreate the Van Halen Unchained kind of sound, and it's really heavy. Just playing the same progression so you can compare them. E, C sus2, G, D. So you can really hear that. It's really kind of... Sounds a little bit better on kind of rhythm stuff because the flange is just so saturated in this one setting. So you can kind of really get some kind of cool effects with it, some cool flange. And I'm just going to kind of play with the settings a little bit more. Maybe tone it down just a hair. Now I'm giving it a little bit more width, a little less speed and regeneration, and a little bit more on the intensity or manual. So now you can kind of get something like... And here's with it off. So you could see, you could hear it, but you could really make it a little bit less subtle or more subtle. Now let's crank it up a bit more. Why not? Let's have some fun, right? Here it is, way over the top. Might be cool, like in a certain song when you're looking for a certain effect. Really, that's a lot of flange. Might be kind of cool, like in an opening of a song or something. And the flanger comes in this kind of very cool, kind of same motif with the white and the black racing stripes EVH MXR box. And like I always say, when you buy your effects, make sure you save the boxes because you might want to trade them in down the road or well down the road. You know, lots of effects, not to say this one, but sometimes they come very collectible and they're harder to get. And effects usually are worth more when you have the original boxing and the packages. Same thing with your guitars, you know, save all the case candy, anything that comes with it, if it comes with a strap or picks or whatever, and that just goes into the overall value, and it makes it more valuable if you want to trade it in or maybe sell it down the road or something. So always save your stuff. I keep all my manuals, everything in a file in the drawer, and this way I have them, I know where they are if I ever need them or want to sell stuff. So save those boxes. Try out that flanger, and remember, use your effects to color. This one you could really control it, and you could really get the levels you want dialed in as per your ears and what sounds best to you and your amp and your guitar. So give it a try, and subscribe to our videos. Hit the yellow subscribe button and go to our full-on website, nextlevelguitar.com. We have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of instructional videos and written lessons, video lessons, jam tracks. I think you really like it. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you soon. Take care.